In the vast and serene landscapes of the United States national parks, a chilling network of coordinated serial killers operated in the shadows, concealing their malevolent activities beneath the guise of trusted park rangers and other officials within the National Park Service. Gary Michael Hilton, one among many, was the one who had been apprehended. The shocking revelation shook the foundation of trust in the very individuals tasked with safeguarding the natural havens. National Park Service Chief Spokesman Jeremy Barnum's disclosure added a grim dimension to the story, stating that there was an average of 6 deaths each week within the considerable national park system. This equated to approximately 312 deaths per year, or 1 death for every 1 million visitors, a chilling statistic that hinted at a dark secret hidden within the nation's cherished landscapes. The Investigative Services Branch, ISB, often referred to as the FBI of the National Park System, took on the monumental task of unraveling the web of terror woven by these rogue officials. As of 2020, a mere 33 ISB agents, stationed across 4 field offices, were responsible for overseeing the safety and security of the vast 85 million acres of Park Service land in 423 areas throughout the country. The ISB's most recent annual report from 2019 provided a glimpse into the magnitude of their challenge. In that year alone, the agency investigated 674 cases, with a staggering 59% classified as crimes against persons. The Pacific Field Office, situated in a region with diverse and expansive landscapes, conducted a harrowing 13 homicide and manslaughter investigations. Though only 4 were new cases for the year, the persistence of such investigations hinted at a pattern of violence embedded within the very fabric of the National Park Service. Adding a layer of darkness to the narrative, the ISB delved into 12 cases labeled as questionable method of death investigations in 2019. These unsettling cases raised alarming questions about the nature of these deaths, suggesting a sinister force at play within the ostensibly tranquil surroundings of the national parks. The revelation of a network of killers operating within the National Park Service sent shockwaves through society. Park rangers, often seen as stewards of nature and protectors of visitors, were now suspected perpetrators of heinous crimes. Emma Lawson, an investigative journalist, and Jake Harris, a retired detective, found themselves entangled in the sinister web as they sought to expose the truth. The Shadows, as they were ominously called, comprised a network of killers who operated with calculated precision. Exploiting their positions of trust, these rogue officials turned the remote and isolated areas of the national parks into hunting grounds. The Shadows shared a twisted ideology that bound them together, fueling their insatiable lust for blood and mayhem. As Emma and Jake delved into the web of darkness surrounding the Shadows, they discovered a disturbing pattern. The killers communicated through encrypted channels, leaving cryptic symbols at crime scenes to mark their territory. The vastness of the national parks served as both a hunting ground and a graveyard for their victims. The puppeteer, a mysterious figure who orchestrated the movements of the Shadows, emerged as the mastermind behind the chaos. The puppeteer had recruited members from various backgrounds, former soldiers, survivalists, and individuals with a warped sense of justice. Together, they formed a deadly alliance that struck fear into the hearts of those who ventured into the national parks. The investigation led Emma and Jake to the Pacific Field Office, where the ISB agents were overwhelmed by the sheer magnitude of the crimes committed within their jurisdiction. The Shadows, deeply embedded within the system, had manipulated investigations and covered their tracks with a chilling level of expertise. The Shadows' Code of Conduct, a set of rules that governed their actions, became a crucial clue for Emma and Jake. It hinted at a deeper motivation behind the killings, beyond the sadistic pleasure of taking lives. The puppeteer, driven by a deep-seated hatred for society and a traumatic past, had orchestrated the reign of terror as a twisted form of revenge. As the investigation intensified, the Shadows grew desperate to protect their secrets. The final confrontation between Emma, Jake, and the Shadows unfolded deep within the heart of Yellowstone National Park. The puppeteer, reveling in the chaos, orchestrated a chilling spectacle to mark the culmination of their reign of terror. A tense and deadly game played out as Emma and Jake faced off against the Shadows. The wilderness echoed with gunfire, and the screams of the dying as justice clashed with vengeance. In the end, the tangled web of darkness was unraveled, and the shadows were brought to justice. Emma Lawson's exposé on the shadows sent shockwaves through society, forcing a reckoning with the darkness that lurk even in the most idyllic landscapes. The national parks, scarred by the horrors within their boundaries, began the slow process of healing. As the sun set over the wilderness, casting long shadows across the untouched beauty of the national parks, a somber reminder lingered, a reminder that even in the most serene and remote corners of the world, the shadows could hide the most malevolent of secrets. The ISB, with its limited resources, faced an uphill battle to safeguard the sanctity of these natural havens and protect the visitors who sought solace in their beauty. The revelation of a network of killers within the National Park Service served as a wake-up call, prompting a thorough examination of the system to prevent such atrocities from happening again. The nationwide scrutiny into the National Park Service uncovered the extent of the Shadow's influence. The network had infiltrated not only the Pacific Field Office but had tendrils reaching into various branches of the organization. The investigation expanded to expose high-ranking officials who were either directly involved or turning a blind eye to the malevolent activities. The public outcry escalated as the truth unfolded, and the National Park Service faced an unprecedented crisis. The agency, once revered for its commitment to preserving natural wonders, now grappled with the stain of betrayal. The ISB, despite its valiant efforts, struggled to rebuild public trust and ensure that the national parks remained safe havens for all. The Shadows, dismantled and brought to justice, left a haunting legacy that echoed through the halls of the National Park Service. The scars of their atrocities ran deep, impacting not only the victims and their families but also the millions of visitors who had once sought solace and inspiration in the untouched beauty of the parks. As the nation collectively mourned the lives lost and grappled with the revelation of the sinister network within, a renewed commitment to transparency and accountability emerged. The ISB underwent a significant expansion, receiving increased funding and personnel to strengthen its ability to safeguard the national parks. In the aftermath, Emma Lawson's investigative work earned her accolades and recognition. Her exposé not only uncovered the darkest corners of the national parks, but also ignited a national conversation about the delicate balance between preserving nature and ensuring the safety of those who explored it. The national parks, once marred by the shadows of betrayal, embarked on a journey of healing. Vigilance and reform became the guiding principles as the organization sought to regain public trust. The ISB, now equipped with the necessary resources, continued its mission to protect the sanctity of the national parks and prevent such a tragedy from recurring. As the sun set over the once troubled wilderness, casting long shadows that whispered of a painful past, a newfound determination radiated through the national parks. The beauty that had once been tainted by darkness now stood as a symbol of resilience and the collective will to preserve the sanctity of these natural treasures. The scars may linger, but the promise of a safer, more accountable future for the national parks shone like a beacon on the horizon.